What is up, guys? AD here, back with another Destiny Child video here on the channel. And in today's video, everyone, we are going to be overviewing the upcoming update for the June 9th 2022 update of Destiny Child Global, which of course does introduce a new narrative dungeon alongside the Endless Duel Endguard Season 4 event, as well as 3 new 5-star characters. So let's dive into this update note and see what we do have here in store for the next event. All right, everyone, first up here, we do have the narrative dungeon. Of course, it does begin after June 9th 8 UTC, and it does last up until June 23rd until maintenance. As for the partner childs, we do have 5-star problem kitty Catsi here. That will be your partner child for the event, as you could see her here. As for the boost childs, we do have the 2 new 5-stars here, being a dreaming poppy Lassi, as well as a 5-star problem kitty Catsi here, being the boost childs for the event. Of course, at +0, they'll be at a 60% boost, and at +6 status, they do scale to a 120% boost at max uncapped. So pretty good boost there. Of course, 2 new units here are the boost childs for the event, so no old units here being the boost child. Moving on here, everyone, for the first time clear rewards, we do have the collection completion 1 time, does reward you with a 5-star A Lassi's tail. Second time here, 5-star A Lassie sleeves. The third time around, a 5-star A Lassie badge. Fourth time, a 5-star child summon ticket. A 3 to 5-star 10 times child summon ticket for the 5th clear. 6th clear is a Prism Soul Carta summon ticket, and the 7th clear is a 5-star Dreaming Poppy Lassi here, which is a very good unit here to obtain from the narrative dungeon, and you guys will see why in just a bit. But next up here, everyone, before we do dive into the units, we do have the Endless Duel Endguard Season 4 event, as you guys could see here on screen. In the update note, we do have the battle rules here, with the banned childs being 5-star Full Alf, 5-star Ice Blade Ymir, 5-star Carefree Fairy Jiriadis, 5-star Mascot Clotho, Perfect Mona 5-star, as well as 5-star Tenacious Maupin here. So they are banning a ton of defenders as well as some healers here for the next season of the Endguard event here. So pretty nice to spice things up. As for the rewards, though, we do have the 3 wins here. Rewards a Bout to Reset ticket. 6 wins will grant you a 5-star child summon ticket. 9 wins here will grant you a 2021 child select box. And 12 wins here does hand you a amplified attack core lucky box here. Next up here, everyone, we do have the new units that will be arriving here with the upcoming narrative dungeon. If you guys haven't seen them already in the archive, first up here, we do have 5-star problem kitty Catsi, the wood type defender. There she is on screen in her live 2D animation, of course, before awakening her. And next up here, we do have Catsi in her after awakening costume as well. As for the skill set of the 5-star wood type debuffer at rank 1 stats, we do have the tap skill here, Lucky Black Cat, deal 407 damage to 1 enemy, priority supporter, debuff duration plus 30% for 8 seconds long. As for the slide skill here, Bell's Cat, deal 723 damage to 2 enemies, priority supporters, a 60% chance to inflict silence, skill use blocked, and skill gauge reset for 5 seconds. In PvP, slide skill cooldown plus 2 for enemy supporters for 12 seconds long. So a pretty interesting slide skill here, as well as a good tap skill in which she does extend debuff duration by 30% for 8 seconds long here on a tap skill. As for the drive skill here, Ultimate Cat Punch, deal 2,134 damage to 3 enemies, priority supporters, 80% chance to inflict silence, skill use blocked, and skill gauge reset for 5 seconds, and debuff duration plus 40% for 16 seconds long. And last but not least here, for the leader buff, we do have skill gauge charge speed minus 18% to all enemies. In PvP, skill gauge charge speed minus 10% for supporter enemies. So she does target the supporter class a ton here in her kits, if you guys couldn't tell already, and she does have some debuff extension here on the tap skill as well as the silence here on the slide, which is pretty nice here. Overall, a decent debuffer, I would say. We'll dive into her kit more in a separate video on whether or not you should summon for her, but yeah, a decently promising wood type debuffer here in Catsi. Next up here, everyone, we do have one of the more anticipated units here, being the second of the 3 in 5-star Dreaming Poppy Lassi, the light type attacker. There she is on screen in her before awakening costume, and we do have Lassi here as well in her after awakening costume here. As for the skill set of Lassi here at rank 1 stats, we do have the tap skill here, Angel Smile, deal 502 damage to one enemy, priority lowest HP, a 70% chance to grant Ignore Reflect to self for 20 seconds. In PvP, a 55% chance to grant Focus, Accuracy up, and 100% crit to self for 20 seconds long. As for the slide skill here, Happy Pooch, deal 1037 damage 2 times to 2 enemies, priority lowest HP, 800 magic damage, bonus damage, increased damage from critical and weak point attacks. In PvP, inflict buff blast, last applied buff is removed, and deal damage based on its effect type by a factor of 300 to buffed enemies. Very nice kits here for Lassi overall, as you guys could tell throughout the slide skill. Very good light type attacker here. As for the drive skill here, Wonder Artful Wilderness, deal 2659 damage to 4 enemies, priority lowest HP, 350 magic damage, bonus damage, increased damage from critical and weak point attacks to dark type enemies. And for the leader buff here, drive skill Final Blow plus 15% for light type allies in PvP, drive gauge charge amount plus 15% for light type allies. Now overall, a very amazing unit here. She does manage to scale to a 6-hit slider here upon being fully ignited. Overall, a very flexible unit, as she can be used for PvE as well as PvP. So without a doubt, a ton of players will focus on this character, as she is very good. She does have magic damage here on the slide skill, as well as a buff blast here. And on the tap skill, she does have focus, which is very nice here for an attacker. And of course, she does deal magic damage on the drive skill, as well as the drive skill Final Blow plus 15% here on the leader buff, and drive gauge charge amount plus 15% as well for those light type allies. So overall, a very good unit here, without a doubt, one of the most anticipated of the 3. But let's move on to the next one, and you guys will see why she is the most anticipated out of all of these units. All right, everyone, last but not least here, we do have 5-star Severe Ziva, the fire type debuffer. Very anticipated fire type debuffer here. She is on screen in her before awakening costume, of course, looking amazing. And let's check out her S-Class. And here is Ziva in her S-Class costume on screen as well. All right, everyone, here we do have Ziva's kits at rank 1 stats. As you guys could see here, a very long skill set for her. And they actually did delay this unit quite a bit by a few weeks. But here she is. She's finally arriving to the game, and many have been excited for her. And let's see why they have been. Now for the tap skill here, we do have deal 405 damage to one enemy, a 75% chance to remove one buff, and a 70% chance to inflict freeze. Skill gauge charge amounts decreased, and damage over time debuff damage increased for 8 seconds long. Overall, a pretty decent tap skill here. Now moving on to the slide skill, as you guys can see, it's very long. And let's see why. We do have deal 720 damage to 2 enemies, lowest HP, inflict eternal flame, 200 damage over time every 2 seconds. If target dies, debuff moves to another enemy up to 1 time, unable to remove, cut, or extend debuff. And guard buff blast, last applied guard buff is removed, then deal damage based on its effect type by a factor of 400 for 12 seconds in PvP. Inflict buff blast, last applied buff is removed, then deal damage based on its effect by a factor of 400 onto 2 enemies, prioritizing the lowest HP. So a very long but very strong slide skill here, as she does have Eternal Flame, which is damage over time, and it does transfer the debuff to another enemy up to 1 time after the enemy has been defeated, of course. And we do have here guard buff blast on her slide, as well as buff blast in PvP. So a very strong debuffer. If you guys can't tell why, then I don't know what to tell you, because this unit is amazing and she's going to be everywhere in the PvP sides of the game. As for the drive skill here, though, since we're not done, we do have deal 2,128 damage to 3 enemies, priority highest attack, inflict eternal flame, 600 damage over time every 2 seconds. If target dies, debuff moves to another enemy up to 1 time, unable to remove, cut, or extend debuff, of course. for 14 seconds and a 90% chance to inflict freeze, skill gauge charge amount decreased, and damage over time debuff damage increased for 16 seconds. So overall, an amazing kit here. We do have the leader buff, of course, debuff duration cut minus 10% to all enemies, and PvP minus 10% added. So a very amazing kit here for Ziva. Definitely one of the most hyped debuffers to date, of course. She is going to be very strong. So hopefully you guys are ready for this unit. Make sure to let me know what you guys do think of all 3 of the new units coming with this next narrative dungeon in the comment section below. All right, everyone, we finally got through all of those long skill sets. So we do have here the new costumes. First up being the hot spring costume for Ziva. There it is on screen, looking very beautiful. I do love this a ton. And moving on here, we do have the hot spring costume for Kitty Catsi here, if you guys would like to see as well. And last but not least here, we do have the hot spring costume for Dreaming Poppy Lassi on screen here to end it off. And for the last note here on the update note here for the next event, we do have the restoration mileage double event here for the House of Reincarnation. So very amazing. If you guys have been saving up your blood gems, you should be ready for this, as of course it will begin after the June 9th 8 UTC update and will last up until June 23rd until maintenance. During the event, if you fail to perform the restoration, you will receive double the restoration mileage for the House of Reincarnation. So very amazing here. 3 new amazing units, I would say. And we do have the HOR double mileage, which is very helpful if you guys would like to uncap these new debuffers, as well as the new top tier light type attacker in Lassi. All right, everyone. So that'll pretty much do it for the update overview here for our next narrative dungeon event here, arriving soon on the June 9th update here for Destiny Child Global. So make sure to let me know in the comment section below if you guys are excited at all for these upcoming units here. They do seem to be more centered towards the PvP, but Lassi being the more flexible of the bunch and can be used a ton in PvE events as well. So make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But before you go, everyone, make sure to leave a like on this video if you guys haven't yet done so already. And of course, if you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you guys are interested in more Destiny Child content, such as this video here today, as well as some other gachas here on the channel as well. And make sure to, of course, check out the links in the description box below as well to my Twitch channel, in which we do live stream Destiny Child on the weekends. So if you guys are interested, the link is always in the description box below. But with all of that being said, I'll see you guys all in the next Destiny Child video. As always, thank you all so much for watching.